Happy Friday the 13th, everyone. It's that day of the year most cherished by horror movie obsessives the world over, but nobody more so than fans of the Friday the 13th franchise itself. The clue's in the name, to be fair. Though the movie series has sadly fallen into a state of inactivity since the release of 2009's Friday the 13th reboot, Jason Voorhees' legacy continues to live on through Illfonic's multiplayer survival horror video game, going by the pretty self-explanatory title of Friday the 13th, The Game. Released in the summer of 2017, the game received mixed reviews from critics due to its undeniable lack of polish, which feels like a rite of passage for Friday the 13th really, though has lovingly blossomed thanks to continued updates from the dev team, and as a result, fans came to embrace it as the first legitimately good Friday the 13th game. And since we have hit that fated date once more, why not have a look at the secrets of Camp Crystal Lake that have been committed to pixels? From world records to sadly lost extras, from porn stars to adult content. There's plenty lurking at the lake if you can sift through the dead counsellor bodies to actually take note. I am the final girl, Ash from WhatCulture Gaming, and these are 10 things you didn't know about Friday the 13th, the game. 10. It was originally a standalone horror game called Slasher Volume 1, Summer Camp. Originally, developer Illfonic was creating their asymmetrical horror game as an entirely standalone, non-franchise title called Slasher Volume 1, Summer Camp, albeit still clearly inspired by the style and tone of the Friday the 13th movies. The first teaser trailer for the game dropped in late 2014, confirming the involvement of both Friday the 13th's gore master Tom Savini and composer Harry Manfredini. But again, it wasn't a card-carrying Friday the 13th game, at least not yet. Several months later, Illfonic was approached by the original film's director, Sean S. Cunningham, and several successful meetings led to Summer Camp being rebranded as a genuine, fully licensed Friday the 13th game. The change was revealed to a joyous fanbase in late 2015, and the rest is history. 9. It holds the Guinness World Record for most crowdfunded video game based on a movie. Friday the 13th, the game, was largely developed thanks to crowdfunding from platforms Kickstarter and BackerKit, and by the time the game was finally released in mid-2017, it had amassed more than $2 million in funds. For perspective, this was a higher budget than that of the original 1980 Friday the 13th movie, even adjusted for inflation, and resulted in the game entering the 2018 Gamers Edition of the Guinness World Records. It was distinguished for being the most crowdfunded video game based on a movie in history, a title it still holds claim to almost 3 years later. If nothing else, it was proof of how desperately fans have been craving a quality Friday the 13th game for literally decades. 8. Kane Hodder provided the motion capture for Jason. Despite its record-setting crowdfunding, Friday the 13th was still produced under considerable budgetary constraints. So when it came to capturing Jason Voorhees' in-game movements, nobody would have been surprised if the production simply deferred to an unknown stunt performer or motion capture artist. But Illfonic in fact stumped up the cash to hire the legendary Kane Hodder, who is of course the best-known Jason performer in the Friday the 13th movie franchise, having played the part in the 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th movies. Over 400 animations, including all of Jason's kills, were recorded by Hodder, giving him an extra chance to play the character after being bafflingly dropped from the role for Freddy vs. Jason. Best of all, Hodder insisted that the mocap team hire stunt performers rather than traditional actors to play his victims, in turn allowing him to get a little rougher than if he was working with non-stunt personnel. 7. 4 backers paid $10,000 to be camp counselors. The top pledge tier on the game's Kickstarter page gave fans the opportunity to earn a slice of immortality by becoming one of the game's camp counselors, all for the princely sum of $10,000. In fairness, the pledge also gave the player a signed copy of the game, 3 digital copies for their friends, and allowed them to attend the game's launch party, among other goodies. Even so, only the hardest of hardcore fans need apply. In the end, 4 fans took up the once-in-a-lifetime offer, resulting in the creation of counsellors Eric LaChapa, Adam Palomino, Kenny Rydell, and Brandon Bugsy Wilson for the game. Bugsy got an especially sweet deal, given that he's actually the strongest counsellor in the entire game. 6. Tom Savini designed an exclusive Jason model for the game. Makeup artist Tom Savini is one of the horror industry's most legendary figures, well known for his extensive gore effects in countless iconic horror movies, including the first and fourth Friday the 13th films. Savini was primarily hired as a visual effects supervisor for the game, which allowed him to give input on Jason's kills. And this ultimately extended to him also designing his own original version of Jason to be included in the game. And so, Savini Jason was born, a fiery new iteration of Jason inspired by his trip to hell at the end of the 9th film. Controversially, however, the character was only made available to Kickstarter backers for a brief time, to the extent that some enterprising players ended up selling their backer accounts on eBay for hundreds of dollars. 5. Jason X DLC was cancelled due to rights issues. In late 2017, Illfonic revealed that some Jason X-themed DLC was on the way, namely the ability to play as that movie's souped-up Uber Jason, while on board Jason X's nifty spaceship, the Grendel. Infuriatingly, however, these DLC plans were quickly scuppered as a result of a lawsuit by Victor Miller, the screenwriter of the original Friday the 13th, who contended that he owned the rights to the original script and anything derived from it. This not only threw the future Friday the 13th movies into doubt, hence the lack of any new films, it also made it legally impossible for Illfonic to produce any new Friday the 13th content whatsoever. As a result, all in-progress DLC was cancelled, with all future plans focused instead on quality of life updates and maintaining the community. But at present, Friday the 13th, the game, is sadly down to just a few hundred concurrent players at any one time on PC, a mere fraction of its launch activity. 4. Griefing caused the devs to mostly remove team killing. One of the game's early issues, as is so often the case with multiplayer games, was griefing. Players freely had the ability to betray their teammates and start attacking them, even killing them if they so wished. This is fine and all, but it is Jason's job to do that, guys. There is literally a giant slasher running around intent on bringing death. Just behave. This became such a pervasive activity among trolls that, amid fan complaints, Illfonic eventually saw no other choice but to remove team killing from public matches, with the patch notes hilariously declaring that we can't have nice things. Despite the August 2017 patch stamping out most team killing, it did still allow players to murder their teammates by running them over with a car, which, whilst more challenging, remains a persistent griefing practice to this very day. 3. It almost got an adults-only content rating. The overwhelming majority of adult-orientated video games end up with the M for Mature content rating in America. But when Friday the 13th was going through the ESRB certification process, Illfonic announced that the game was positioned somewhere between an M and the dreaded adults-only rating. Adults Only is largely seen as the commercial kiss of death for any video game, given that many retailers, namely digital console storefronts like PSN and Xbox Game Store, will point-blank refuse to sell any game rated AO. There are only a handful of notable AO games, such as the original version of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, which contained the hidden hot coffee sex minigame, the PC version of Manhunt 2, and more recently, the PC-exclusive spree shooting simulator Hatred. Friday the 13th eventually ended up with an M rating. And though Illfonic hasn't ever gone into specifics about the rating process, it's assumed that some of the more grotesquely violent content was toned down, quite understandably, to allow a console release. 2. Porn star Diana Prince has a cameo in the game. This game is absolutely jam-packed with amusing franchise Easter eggs, and perhaps none more surprising or unexpected than a cameo of sorts from porn star Diana Prince. Prince's framed picture appears in one of the game's cabins, and she is listed as a cabin owner in the credits, seeming to suggest that she was also one of the game's major backers. Furthermore, Prince has recently shot roles in Friday the 13th fan films Vengeance and Mythos, which is nothing if not confirmation that she is a huge fan of the franchise. While most who stumbled across her picture in the game likely assumed she was simply a regular backer, there's clearly a slightly more interesting story there. Happy camper, happy ending, it's all one and the same, really. 1. One of the planned kills was cut, but not what you think. Tom Savini, of course, helped design Jason's many possible kills throughout the game, but he also confirmed that one kill ultimately had to be cut from the game. Boo! The kill saw Jason impaling a counsellor on a lifeguard post. And while you might understandably think that it was cut to ensure the game avoided that dreaded adults-only rating I've just told you about, it was apparently just a simple logical issue. Basically, the developers couldn't find a way to logically explain why there would be lifeguard posts strewn around the map. It's only a lake after all. And so ultimately, they nixed the idea. As if we need logic in a horror movie franchise game. Just give us the Baywatch beatings. And that's our list. How are you celebrating this spooky day? And what is your favourite part of the Friday the 13th game? Share your thoughts in the comment section below and check out our main channel for some more franchise fun from Jason today. I've been Ash, and this has been WhatCulture Gaming. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and come back again soon for some more lovely gaming content. Thanks for watching.